From invisibility to the ability to fly or be able to speak every language in the world, the superpowers that humans dream of manifesting are pretty mild compared to the superpowers that most Marvel and DC characters have. In any of these hypothetical situations, one would hope that most humans don't dream of having powers of destruction. When you think about it though, destructive superpowers are arguably the most powerful because they are absolutely terrifying. Superheroes may rely on supervillains for action and drama, seeing their powers turned against them or pushed to their limits, but you don't need heat vision or super strength to be truly terrifying. Sometimes all it takes is an overly determined criminal and an opponent pushing them to their true potential. Criminal leaders and bosses who control underground criminal organizations make for great, understandable antagonists. From vast resources and wealth to relentless determination to see the heroes put in the ground and the greed that comes from seeking an empire. Here are 10 of the most dangerous Marvel and DC criminals. While many of the crime bosses have found ways of gaining superhuman abilities, sometimes true power comes from the devious business behind criminal operations and the vast wealth that it conjures. He may not be much to look at, but Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, has proven to be not only one of the most brilliant and ruthless crime bosses the comic book world has ever seen, but a physical threat capable of fighting some of Marvel's most impressive heroes. He has worked with the Hand, has taken control of much of New York's criminal empire, and has had several run-ins with heroes like Spider-Man and Daredevil. He has even become the mayor of New York to further his own agenda. The Kingpin prefers to kill with his bare hands and whatever furniture is nearby. You might think a supervillain with no powers can't be that big of a threat, but obviously you haven't met Prometheus. Raised by two criminals, the young boy traveled across America learning the outlaw life until his parents were shot down by police. Prometheus first appeared in 1998's New Year's Evil Prometheus as a wide-eyed superhero fanboy who won a chance to be a member of the JLA for a day. But as the issue unfolds, he reveals himself to be one of the most bent, determined, and deadly villains to be introduced in modern comics history. Spending time in South American fighting pits, working as an African mercenary, and as an international terrorist, Prometheus became a true student of crime and violence, eventually killing the cops who killed his parents, and turning his finely tuned skills to bringing down the Justice League. Dr. Octopus has always been one of Spider-Man's deadliest foes, but in the past few years, his attacks have increased in danger and desperation, even going so far as to swap minds with Peter Parker for the entire run of a superior Spider-Man, ferociously fighting bad guys and founding Parker Industries in his name. In this feat, he actually succeeded, going on to take over Peter's life and his role as Spider-Man. Though Peter eventually defeated Dr. Octopus once and for all and returned to his role as Spider-Man, many of the things Doc Ock did while under the mask are still affecting his life. His consciousness lived on in his helper robot Living Brain, and managed to jump ship into a clone body, where he battled Spidey once more before switching bodies again into a proto-clone of Parker. Now calling himself the superior Octopus, Otto Octavius is a member of Captain America's Hydra Avengers, which makes him more dangerous than he's ever been before. Originally thought to be just the dark side of Hal Jordan's mind when he turned evil, in 2004's Green Lantern Rebirth, it was revealed that Parallax was a parasitic entity that took over Jordan's body and drove him down that murderous path. But besides that, Parallax was also the source for the Green Lantern ring's longtime weakness to the color yellow, due to this vengeful entity being imprisoned in the central power battery on Oa. Parallax's powers are far-ranging and sometimes nebulous, including intense mind control abilities that can bend even heavyweights like the Spectre, Batman, and Superman. However, his most memorable ability is the potential to possess virtually anyone, who he's done to great effect not only with Hal Jordan, but also the Flash for a time. Although he has helped some of the worst villains in the DC universe do whatever they want to get away with their crimes, Lex Luthor has always believed that what he is doing is for the greater good. To many people, he did enough to redeem himself of all his past crimes when he used his power and money to help Gotham City. Luthor proved that no matter how repulsive and evil you are, people will support you if you are charismatic enough and make token gestures. However, underneath his smug smile and condescending attitude lies a villain that deserves no redemption. redemption. He has tried to kill Superman on more than one occasion. No matter how nice he pretends to be, the guy is a villain of the highest order. Ra's al Ghul is one of Batman's most famous and fiercest foes, a gifted warrior and fighter, an anarchist leader of a revolutionary collective of assassins, and technically immortal. Ra's has been wreaking havoc as a member of Batman's rogues gallery for decades. In some ways, he's one of the most pivotal villains in the entire DC universe, considering he is the grandfather of Damian Wayne. In others, he sought to destroy the detective's world in every way possible. He's been working towards that goal for hundreds of years, thanks to the Lazarus Pits. If there's one thing that proves he's beyond redemption, it's the fact that his name alone literally translates into Demon's Head. This name describes his character perfectly. He has killed countless people and will kill more, with no reason to ever believe he will stop. Amidst a great assembly of colorful characters in the Batman series, there's one ingenious trickster who is almost as popular as the Joker himself, the Riddler. Since his creation, the Riddler has been all over the place. Between Frank Gorshin's cackling Riddler in the 1960s Batman series and the youthful pre-Riddler seen on Gotham to the darker, more cerebral Riddler seen in today's Arkham games, this green-suited gangster with his distinctive question mark cane has haunted Batman for decades, and he's likely to be around for many years to come. Also known as Nigma, he is the smartest enemy in Batman's rogues gallery, keeping the Dark Knight's mind sharp as a well-honed batarang. He has a mastery of not just puzzles, but strategy, computer languages, logical systems, engineering, forensics, and several other fields of study. He also has an obsessive-compulsive nature, which compels him to leave riddles whose answers will allow others to solve the crimes he commits, but few are smart enough to keep up. Based on a comic book from 1996, The Darkness follows the story of Jackie Estacado, a hitman who becomes possessed by a supernatural entity called the Darkness. The entity gives Jackie all sorts of powers, which is great because his boss just put out a hit on his head. Jackie Estacado began his life as an orphan, adopted into the Franchetti crime family at the tender age of 6, making his first kill at the age of 16. Jackie would become the family's most skilled and ruthless hitman, doing more than just killing his targets to send a message. But on his 21st birthday, he learned that his induction into the mafia was no coincidence, as he was the latest in a long line of men entrusted with the Darkness, an ancient force granting its host nearly limitless power. In the hands of Jackie, the power to create any weapon or creature as long as he stayed in the shadows was a perfect fit, seeking vengeance on all who had wronged him in the past. Like many other Marvel villains that were created in the company's early days, Zebediah Killgrave was tied closely to communism. Also, like many other villains, Killgrave received his powers from an experimental mishap of sorts. Being hired by Big Red to steal a new nerve gas created by the US Army, Zebediah attempted to flee with the canister, only to be fired upon and have the gas blow up in his face. When captured and questioned by the government, Zeb gives a rather shoddy explanation as to why he was stealing the gas and is released. Soon, he finds that not only does he have strange new abilities, but he is also completely purple. Thus, he decides to come up with the most obvious supervillain moniker of all time, and the Purple Man is born. What he is obsessed with is a life of crime and controlling others. He can force people to do what they want for him, similar to the telepaths of Marvel. He once mind-controlled a woman to be his wife, and also did something similar to Jessica Jones, torturing her over and over again. The Joker is a mass murderer who shows no remorse or sympathy for anyone he kills or hurts. To Joker, everything is a game. No one knows his story, his motivations, or his endgame. The only thing that people really know about him is that he is completely unpredictable and incredibly dangerous. Over the years, Batman's arch-nemesis has been portrayed as a serial killer, a crime boss, a madman, and an agent of chaos in nearly every form of entertainment. His crimes make him one of the most irredeemable characters in DC Comics. He killed Jason Todd by beating him to death. He shot Barbara Gordon just because he wanted to push Commissioner Gordon to the limit. He used newborn babies as bait. He tricked Superman into killing Lois Lane and then laughed when Superman came for him. Without any superpower, superweapon, or even backup, Joker's calculated mayhem hasn't just made him a comic book icon, but one of the most complicated and terrifying villains in history.
Thank you for checking this video out, and don't forget to smash that like button and also subscribe for new videos every day. Turn that bell notification on and comment down below that you subscribed, and we'll make sure to reply and thank as many of you as we possibly can. Once again, thank you for watching and see you next time.